Welcome to Mindfucks with Mahara, where we flip your perspective, challenge your thinking, and leave you feeling surprisingly amazing about it all. I'm your host, Mahara, and this podcast is for the rebels ready to rage against their comfort zone, for those willing to flip their finger at mediocrity and sit in the fire of discomfort, knowing that's where the magic happens. Each episode, I'll share insights that might just blow your mind in the best possible way. So if you are ready to have your world rocked and your thoughts rewired, you are in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome back, truth seekers, to another episode of Mindfucks with Mahara. I'm your host, Mahara Wayman, and today we're going to dive into something that's been whispering to you all along: your intuition. You know, that gut feeling, that inner knowing that you keep second guessing. Yeah, that's your freaking inner oracle trying to get your attention. Today's truth bomb sounds like this. While you're busy looking for signs and seeking validation from every spiritual teacher you can get your hands on, your intuition is screaming the answers that you've been searching for. So, folks, it's time to turn up the volume on your inner wisdom. Now, before we unleash your inner oracle, I want to share something personal with you that might actually sound familiar. For years, I was what I would call a professional sign seeker. Yep. I religiously read my horoscope in the local newspaper, also known as the Vancouver Sun. Then came horoscope apps, and I did a little happy dance. I downloaded a whole bunch of them. I still have one today, to be honest. But I treated all of these readings and forecasts like gospel. And let's just say I could have opened up my own cosmic forecasting center. I was so busy looking for external validation that I completely missed the most powerful divination tool of all, my inner wisdom, my own knowing. So the wake-up call for me came during what I now call my alignment phase versus the should phase, but that's another session. I was building my business just a few years ago, and honestly, I kept being pulled in two different directions. When I fully trusted my intuition, magic happened. My first book, Essential Insights to Live in Your Best Life, practically wrote itself. And I didn't question, I just did, because it just felt right. And I went for it. When I started podcasting, The Art of Badassery, that's my first podcast, the Mama podcast to this one. The download to do it was instantaneous and calm and powerful. And I just went for it. And the podcast itself was very well received. It gained traction effortlessly. And opportunities dropped in my lap from both the book and the podcast. And there was no forcing. I didn't even actually try. It was so much fun. Then there was the other path that I was experiencing at pretty much the exact same time. And that's the path of doing all the things I thought I should do. I signed up for lots of courses and master classes. Some of them were quite expensive because everyone said that's what I should do. That's what a successful coach entrepreneur does. I created courses because that's the proven business model. I had all of these funnels and just stuff. I followed the expert advice and all of the blueprints that were out there. But you know what? Despite the logical evidence screaming, this is what you need to do, there was a part of me that didn't connect with it, right? There was a part of me that kind of had this knot. I had this knot in my stomach and this little voice that was saying, this isn't you. This isn't you. Hold on. This isn't you. So I kept trying to validate my decisions through more research, more opinions, more external validation. And all these years later, well, it's actually only been a couple of years. That's when I realized I'd been treating my intuition like a magic 8-ball, shaking it up when I wanted answers, instead of recognizing it as the constant wisdom it really is. I was looking everywhere else for guidance while my inner GPS was desperately trying to reroute me to my highest good. And that's why we need to talk about what I call activating your intuition, because let's be honest, you already have the answers you're looking for. You're just really good at drowning them out. So there are several factors that hijack your connection to inner guidance, and you're probably falling for all of them, just like I did. Your mind is a noise factory, cranking up so much mental static that those subtle intuitive signs, they don't stand a chance. Those signals get lost. They're being bulldozed by your obsessive overthinking. Let's get brutally honest about fear versus intuition, because this comes up a lot in my coaching. You think you can't tell the difference, right, between fear and intuition, but that's actual bullshit. Intuition delivers truth with a calm, steady hand, even the uncomfortable kind. It doesn't spiral you into panic or drag you through mental horror films of what ifs. Anxiety, on the other hand, is a dramatic mess that escalates everything, right? Flooding our system with adrenaline and catastrophic visions. Intuitive warnings, on the other hand, they arrive with laser focused clarity, while anxiety spreads like a toxic gas, creating nothing but confusion and dread. Now, the challenge is that our culture has brainwashed you into believing that logic is king, and you've bought it hook, line, and sinker. You routinely override feelings that have saved your ass repeatedly because some spreadsheet or someone else as an expert told you otherwise. This intellectual tyranny has you disconnecting from the most sophisticated guidance system you possess. And for what? So you can make the same logical mistakes everyone else is making? Because, guys, every time you ignore your intuition, you're essentially telling your soul to shut the fuck up. You're choosing to listen to random internet strangers, for example, over the wisdom that literally is encoded in your DNA. I'm thinking Kendrick Lamar. It's in my DNA. It's in my DNA. But how's that strategy working for you? Right? How's it working out for all your big life decisions? Not great, I'm guessing. So you want to break free from this mental prison? Okay. Are you nodding? I hope so. Start tracking your intuitive hits like your life depends upon it, because it does. Create actual silence in your day, not that fake silence, or you're still digitally plugged in. When your gut speaks on even tiny decisions, listen immediately. Stop overthinking the email, that phone call, that invitation. Your body already knows the right move. And here's where you'll probably fail, because this is where most of us do. And that's with implementation. Getting the intuitive download is meaningless if you don't act on it. Folks, you need to make decisions directly from your gut. Take bold action, even when it seems insane to others. Stand your ground when conventional wisdom tells you otherwise. Most people chicken out at this stage. I know I certainly did for the longest time. But when my doing that proved to me that I never actually wanted the truth, I just wanted comfortable validation. Oh my God, I'm going to repeat that. When you ignore your intuition, it is proof that you don't actually want the truth. You just want comfortable validation. Mind blown, or as my podcast is called, Mindfuck. Okay, I want you to know something about your intuition. It isn't some mystical woo-woo concept. It's your evolutionary advantage being wasted because you're too afraid to trust yourself. Time to decide. Will you keep drowning out your inner wisdom, or finally give it the microphone? I want to know. I want to know. I mean, it's like when we ignore intuition, it's like having a built-in GPS and still asking strangers for direction. Honey, your inner navigation system is literally screaming, recalculating, while you're out here asking your neighbor's cousin's psychic for direction on your life. But before we wrap this up, we do need to talk about some uncomfortable truths, because I'm all about being honest. Trusting your intuition isn't all unicorns and sexy energy downloads. Sometimes your intuitive guidance won't make logical sense, and it may scare you. People are probably going to question your decisions, and you're going to have to act without external validation. And the path may look different than expected. That's really my story. Nothing is what I expected. Your rational mind as well, it's not going to be happy. It's going to throw like an absolute tantrum about not being in charge anymore. But here's the thing. that resistance that you feel, it's just your logical mind being a drama queen because it knows it's not running the show anymore, right? It's like your inner control freak is like having a meltdown because you finally realize that you need to listen to your soul instead of looking at a spreadsheet, right? Or following someone else's advice. Truth seekers, because that's what I call you, that's what you are. It's time to stop outsourcing your wisdom and start trusting your inner oracle. You ready? If you are ready, and I hope you're nodding, if you're ready to activate your intuition, I mean, really ready, then head over to my website, www.mindfulnesswithmahara.com, and sign up for my newsletter, Divine Disruption, your no bullshit spiritual guide. It goes out weekly. But here's the ultimate truth. The oracle that you've been seeking has been with you all along, right? Those answers that you're searching for, they're not just in the cards, the crystals, or the cosmic downloads. They start in that quiet knowing that you have been trying to keep silent with logic. My name is Mahara Wayman, reminding you that your intuition isn't just sending you random gut feelings. It's your soul's GPS system trying to guide you home. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.